Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another stream with the boys. Today, we have a new set that just dropped, Strixhaven. So you know what that means. It's time to get into some new product. So today, we've got a collector booster box of Strixhaven, and we've got one of each of the colleges in the theme booster packs. So, real quick, I wanted to go over the contents of the collector boosters. In each collector booster, you're going to get one foil double-sided token. It's pretty standard in all collector boosters. 5 foil commons, 3 foil uncommons, 1 foil single or double-faced rare or mythic, 1 foil lesson card that can be any rarity, 1 extended art commander rare or mythic, 1 extended art or borderless rare or mythic, 1 foil mystical archive at uncommon, 1 foil mystical archive borderless or extended at rare or mythic. Then you get a foil etched mystical archive at uncommon and a foil etched mystical archive at rare or mythic rare. And the kicker is, on the last two, the foil etched, you're guaranteed to get at least one Japanese alternate art variant, which is one of the main reasons why we are excited for this product. If you haven't seen the Mystical Archives or the Japanese alternate art variants, you're in for a treat because they're pretty special. Even though I can't read Japanese, my son's working on it, but they are still exciting and really cool to see. So, without further delay, yes, Japanese cards, and a little hint for everybody. We've got a Japanese set booster box that we will be opening on stream soon. I can't say when, but really soon, so that we'll get to see all those fancy Japanese, all the cards in Japanese and the alternate art mystical archive. So there is our packs, and we'll have one of the boys start us off.
Okay, so let's go for this one. There's gonna be some cool packs. Just pop that right down there. Starting off with Owlin Shield Mage. Flying Ward 3 life. 3. Star Pupil. Star Pupil enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. When it dies, +1/+1. It puts its +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Resculpt. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. Novice Dissector. Sack another creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Sorcery speed 3/3. Tangle Trap either deals 5 damage to target creature with flying or destroys an artifact. Secret Rendezvous.
Secret Rendezvous?
Secret Rendezvous. You and target opponent each draw 3 cards. That's cool. Ooh, Deadly Brew. Each player sacks a creature. If you sacked a permanent this way,
This way,
you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Basic Conjugation. It's our lesson. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them, put it into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You gain 3 life. Pretty good. Manifestation Sage. When it enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Ooh. Nos Deceptline Enforcer. At the beginning of your end step, for each player, put a +1/+1 counter on up to one target creature that player controls. Each creature with one or more counters on it can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless its controller pays X, where X is the number of counters on that creature. And then we have we have the borderless alternate art Witherbloom Elder Dragon, Beldrus Witherbloom, and it is flying at the beginning of each upkeep, including your opponent's. Create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with, when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. Pay 10 life. Untap all land you control. Activate this only once. And then a dope Japanese art. Don't know what it is, but it's cool.
I think, let's see, it's 1 red. It could be Defiant Strike.
It's an instant.
It's an instant? Oh yeah, you can read Japanese. What does it say?
I don't know.
It can't be Defiant Strike because the other...
Oh, is Defiant Strike white?
No, it's a blue, I think.
Look at it.
So, whatever. Faithless Looting. Draw...
That's going to be your Halloween costume this year, isn't it?
No. No.
Oh, you're going to look so great dressed up as the Faithless Looter?
No.
Yeah.
No. Draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Flashback. And more Japanese art. And it's foil, and it looks dope. And moving on to the next Japanese art, which is also really cool. It's a white.
It's also an instant.
It's also an instant.
I can read that much.
That's cool.
It looks like this Japanese card right here. It says that it gets target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. I might be really wrong.
I'm currently looking up the cards. I'll try and have them ready to go. So put it back down. All right. So the white one, that's this one. The white one that's foil is. It didn't translate it. Something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Go ahead. Grab another pack.
Okay. It's your turn.
All right. Let's take the one in the middle. Right. All right. So we got an Eager First Year. It has Magecraft. Eureka Moment. Draw 2 cards. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Frost Trickster. Flying when it enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. We got the Spined Karok. It's just a 2/4 with a bunch of flavor text. Essence Infusion. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, gains lifelink until end of turn. Mascot Interpretation. This spell costs 3 mana less to cast if it targets a creature token, and you gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Aether Helix. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's pretty cool. The Expanded Anatomy. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn. Galzeth Primari.
Alright, our second Elder Dragon already.
Nice. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. Artifacts you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery.
So when you tap your treasures, they don't. You don't have to sacrifice them for the mana, as long as you're casting instants and sorceries, which the College of Prismari is very apt to do.
Mm-hmm. See what's next. Full art, Cunning Rhetoric. Whenever an opponent attacks you and/or one of your planes or one more planeswalkers you control, exile the top card of that player's library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Full art Semester's End. Exile any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of next end step, return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it as if it's a creature, and an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker. So it's kind of just like a bunch of buffing.
It's like Teferi's Protection, where it doesn't phase out the creatures, they actually do exile, so it's no good against tokens, but it's definitely a combat trick. You can block, then your creatures don't die, they come back bigger. Not a terrible card.
Shock. Shock deals 2 damage to any target. So it's kind of like a knockoff Thunderbolt.
Oh, there it is!
Woo!
There it is!
Woo! Yes!
Demonic
Yes!
Tutor!
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
nice.
Oh!
Yes!
That's the one!
Yes!
That's the one we were waiting on.
Yes! Woo!
So, it's 1 and a black. Search your library for a card and put it into your hand. Woo!
Booyah!
That's cool.
You're like...
He's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read the Japanese and you're just yelling. Another Japanese card. It's 1 green. It is a sorcery.
Let's see. Green, green, green. Let me see the picture. A little tree going across there. It is Adventurous Impulse. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
I played that card and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Let's see what's next. Compulsive Research. Target player draws 3 cards. Then that player discards 2 cards unless they discard a land card. And a cool art. So that's cool. And then a fractal token. It's foil.
Aw, fractal. Well, that's pretty exciting. Here, let's get these boosters out of the way so that we can take a look at this bad boy. I know some people that are going to want to try and trade that. Get that off my hands. Double-sided, we got Treasure and Elemental. Blood Age General, tap attacking spirits, get +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a 2-mana 2/2. Quandrix Pledge Mage. So each school has their own Pledge Mage. They're 1 and 2 hybrid mana, so 1 of each color in the college. It's a 2/2 with Magecraft, which says whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Quandrix Pledge Mage. Ooh, I like this one. Rise of Extus. 4 and 2 hybrid. Exile target creature. Exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard. Then you learn. You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game and put it into your hand, or discard a card to draw a card. Promising Dusk Mage, 3 mana, 2/3. When it dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. Letter of Acceptance. Know some people that might be getting some of those soon. Getting towards the end of the school year, so 3 mana artifact, tap to add 1 color mana of any color. 2 tap, sacrifice it to draw a card. Fortifying Draft. Golden Ratio. Draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. Here's our lesson card. So these cards typically would be in your sideboard outside the game, and you would use a card with Learn, which I just explained, to get one of these, put it in your hand, and then you cast it. This one is in the Lorehold College, which is the Red-White College. You create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. In the past, a lot of the time, spirits have flying, but the spirits in this set pretty much don't. So here we have a modal dual face card. Augmenter Pugilist. 1 green for a 3/3 with trample. As long as you control 8 or more lands, Augmenter Pugilist gets +5/+5. So he buffs himself late game. Echoing Equation. 3 blue. Sorcery. Choose target creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of it until end of turn. Except those creatures aren't legendary if the chosen creature is legendary. And in true modal dual face card fashion, the front side works great with the back side. So if you had a bunch of these guys, if you had this guy on the battlefield, you could copy him, and all of your tokens would become copies of him. If you had another copy of this card, and you could, cast it. Here's our commander card. You can tell by the set symbol there in the corner. 4 green for a 4/4 flyer. The first time you would create 1 or more tokens during each of your turns, you may instead choose a creature other than Exus Fractal Bloom and create that many tokens that are copies of that creature. Wow, so it's similar to that last card we just saw, where you could, copy the Augmenter Pugilist. Tempted by the Auric. Sorcery. For each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature or planeswalker that player controls with mana value 3 or less. Village Rites, our first mythical archive. It's 1 black. As an additional cast a cost a spell, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. And we got another blue Japanese mystical archive. This one is Brainstorm. So Brainstorm allows you to draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So it lets you sift through your library. Claim the Firstborn, 1 red for a sorcery. Gain control of target creature with mana value 3 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste until end of turn. And an extended art, Draconic Intervention, 2 red sorcery. As an additional cost to cast the spell, exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. It deals X damage to each non-dragon creature where X is the exile card's mana value. They have gone away from converted mana cost, and now they're going with mana value. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead, and you exile Draconic Intervention as part of the resolution of the spell. Go ahead.
Okay.
Which one's got the fire poles?
I'd say mine.
Feel it. I can feel it allegedly. Let's go with this one. Alright, starting off with Foil Spectacle Mage. Flying, insert instant and sorcery spells with you cast with mana value 5 or greater, cost 1 less to cast. 2/2. Combat Professor. Flying at the beginning of combat on your turn. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains vigilance until its turn. Teach by example. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Ageless Guardian, 1/4. Our Lore Hold Campus.
So the nice thing about these cards, they enter the battlefield tapped. They tap for 1 mana of either color in the college. But at the bottom there, you pay for tap to scry 1, which is really awesome in the late game if you, you've got a bunch of mana, you have no more spells in your hand. You can start kind of sifting through your deck to make sure that you're not drawing more lands. Really, really pretty helpful.
And then our next card is Solve the Equation. Search your library for an instant or sorcery spell, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Silver Quill
Apprentice.
Mage Craft, target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Lesson card, scry 2, then draw a card. Pretty good. Gnarled Professor, trample when it enters learn. Laia the Blade Reforged. Haste. Whenever it attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Whenever you exile 1 or more cards from your library and or graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on Laia. Silver Quill command. Choose 2. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying. Creature, return target creature card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Target opponent sacks a creature. Pretty good. And then this one, I want to say this is Eliminate.
Let me see. It's a black card. I think that it is. I can't think of the name. I'll pull it up real quick.
I don't know why, but it just looks like it would be an Eliminate.
It is. You're right. Eliminate.
Woo!
So it's an instant, destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, I love this one.
Tezzeret Gambit. Phyrexian blue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. Choose any number of permanents and or players, and then give them another counter for each kind already there. And then with our fancy little negate, counter target non-creature spell, and then to end it off, Lore Hold command. Create a 2/2. Create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible and haste until end of turn. Lore Hold command deals 3 damage to any target player, gains 3 life. Sacrifice a permanent, then draw 2 cards. Nice. And then Elemental Pest. Oh yeah.
Those pests.
Dang pest.
Pests are awesome, and they're also very cute.
Or so.
By the way.
Something like that.
Allegedly.
Don't disrespect the pet.
There we go. Oh, another pest. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Alright, we start off this pack with the Biomathematician. When it enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on each fractal you control. Fuming Effigy. Whenever 1 or more cards leave the graveyard, it deals 1 damage to each opponent, and it's a 4/3. Next, we got a Stonerise Spirit. Flying, you can tap 4 to exile a card from your graveyard. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. It's a 1/2. We got a campus guide next. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library card for a basic land card, reveal it, then shuffle and put that card on top.
I'm not sold on that. I prefer when you search for a land, you get to put it in your hand, but
Yeah.
or the battlefield. That's even better.
When we got Spring Main Servant. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Bookworm. Trample. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 3 life and draw a card. You can tap 2 and a green to put it from your graveyard onto your library, 3rd from the top. And it's a 7/7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that classic 7/7 worm.
Access Tunnel. You can tap to add colorless. Then you can tap 3 in this to target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. We got a lesson, Academic Probation. You get to choose one. Choose a non-land card name. Opponents can't cast spells with the chosen name until your next turn. Or you can choose target non-land permanent. Until your next turn, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. We got a dual modal face card. Selfless Glyph Waver. Exile it. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And then on the other side, we've got Deadly Vanity. Choose a creature or planeswalker, then destroy all other creatures and planeswalkers.
For the low cost of 8 mana.
And 3 black, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And you got a Witch's Clinic in full art. You can tap to add colorless. You can tap 2 and this. Target commander gains lifelink until end of turn. Indeed. Illuminate History. Discard any number of cards, then draw that many cards. If there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. We've got our favorite Revitalize.
Oh boy.
You gain 3 life and draw a card.
There it is.
There it is.
Fancy.
He admitted it. It's good it's bad in every deck except the green and black deck with the past. He admitted it. He likes it.
I did not say that.
Yeah, you did.
This one here is a sorcery. It's called Stone Rain. Destroy target land.
Bye-bye.
And this.
Ooh, here, kitty. Thrill of Possibility. Ooh, instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards.
That's pretty nice. We've got Sparring Regime. When it enters the battlefield, learn. Whenever you attack, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature. And a spirit.
Really not too bad. I liked that extended art lesson in the last pack. I didn't realize that you could get lessons in extended art, but since it's rare, I guess that makes sense. It's certainly the first one I've seen, so... On to the next pack with a Pest Spirit token. Dragon's Approach. Deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may exile it and 4 cards named Dragon's Approach from your graveyard. If you do, search your library for a dragon creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. A deck can have any number of cards named Dragon's Approach, which is good because Commander's a format with... It's a singleton format, meaning you can only put 1 copy of each card in your deck. But cards like this get around that rule. So, Defend the Campus, I really like this one. I usually do the second mode. It does say choose 1. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn, or destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. It's 4 mana. I think it's worth it. Burrog Befuddler. 1 and a blue. For a 2/1 with flash, when it enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -1/-0 until end of turn. Extended Wall, 1 mana for a 0/4 defender. Pay 1 and tap it to mill a card. Archway Commons, it's okay fixing. It enters tapped, and when it enters, you'll sacrifice it unless you pay 1. But next turn, you get to use it tapped to add 1 mana of any color. Mentor's Guidance, 2 and a blue. When you cast this spell, copy it if you control a Planeswalker, Cleric, Druid, Shaman, Warlock, or Wizard. Scry 1, then draw a card. This card's great, especially in Prismari, where you have most of your creatures are one of these types, so you get to scry 1, then draw a card, and then do it again. Tem the Pests, black and green. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature. Create X 1/1 black and green pest creature tokens with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life, where X is the sacrificed creature's power. And just look at that little biome, this maniacal guy here. Just nurturing these little creepy little pests in this biome. Inkling Summoning. This is maybe our favorite lesson. Certainly the one that I've cast the most. Create a 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying. Tempted by the Auric. So we've seen this card before, but what I didn't say last time is that the Auric is a faction, a dark faction that's trying to turn some of the students at the academy to the dark arts. I don't know a whole lot about the lore of this set, but I did hear that. This is our commander card, Combat Calligrapher. 3 and a white for a 3/3 flyer. Inklings can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, that attacking player creates a tapped 2/1 white and black Inkling creature token with flying that's attacking that opponent. So this is in our Silver Quill commander deck, the black and white group hug style. Valentine, Dean of the Vein, our modal dual face card. 1 black for a 1/1 menace lifelink. If a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. When you do, you may pay 2. If you do, create a pest creature token. And on the backside, Lizette, Dean of the Root. 2 and 2 green for a 4/4. Whenever you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample until end of turn. Super powerful. Alright, so what do we think this is?
It's negate.
Is it negate? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
it
already
is.
looked it up. Negate. Counter target non-creature spell.
Go.
Gift of Estates. 1 and a white for a sorcery. If an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for up to 3 plains cards. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Ooh, this is, it's the same one that we had before. What is it?
Ooh, it's
One that does the plus whatever.
Infuriate. Target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. And that fancy one is in foil.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, what is this? It's so cool. Sorry, I know this is thrilling. I'm looking it up on my phone as I'm on this stream here. Crux of Fate. 3 black. Choose 1. It's a sorcery. Destroy all dragon creatures or destroy all non-dragon creatures. Which makes sense because it's a shiny dragony boy. Alright. We are halfway through our collector booster box. 6 packs to go.
Let's go ahead and grab this one. So, coming off with our, look at that, it's a dual card. Treasure and Spirit. So, yeah. Twin Scroll Shaman, Double Strike, 1/2. Witherbloom Pledge Mage, 3. Yeah. Mage Craft, you gain 1 life, 5/5.
So, the Shell Bell, you like that dragon? It's in black. You could run it. You could run it in your deck. Go ahead.
Expel. Exile target and tapped creature. Charge through. Target creature gains trample until end of turn. Draw a card. They're playing their little Quidditch game, quote unquote. Professor's Warning. Choose one. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Go blank. Target player discards 2 cards, then exile all cards from that player's graveyard. Wow. Humiliate. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. You put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. Elemental Summoning. Create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature.
Yes.
Frostboil Snarl. It's a reveal land, so you have to reveal an island or mountain, or else it enters tapped. Then it, of course, taps for blue or red.
Prismari. Yum.
Yum. Excavation Technique. Demonstrate. When you cast this spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Players may choose new targets for their copies. Destroy a target non-land permanent. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. Selfless Gearweaver.
Glyph Weaver. Slow down there, bud.
Gleef Weaver.
Gleef.
And then it does the sacrifice, the thing, and it protects everything. Or the 8 mana spell that rips you over. Kills everything. And then a cool looking Japanese card that nobody knows what says.
I'll tell you what it is. Hopefully. Whirlwind Denial. It's an instant. For each spell and ability your opponents control, counter it unless its controller pays 4. So if someone's storming off, meaning they're going to play a bunch of spells on the same turn for a benefit, you play this when hopefully they're done storming off, and then they all the spells on the stack that are below it, they have to pay 4 for each one, or they get countered.
Oh, God.
Speaking of storm...
Weather the Storm. You gain 3 life. Storm. When you cast...
Storm. That's what it's called.
Weather the Storm. Storm. When you cast this spell, copy it for each spell cast before it this turn. Eliminate Foil.
Ooh, foil!
And then this thing, it's a cauldron, and you can tap, create a pest, tap, discard, create a pest. 1 tap, each opponent mills cards equal to the amount of life you gain this turn because of those pests. So great. And then 4 tap, exile 4 target cards from a single graveyard, draw a card. And then on the other side, it so return 2 target creature land and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard. Each player gains 4 life. Exile it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Alright. Let's dismiss. Alright. Alright, let's see. We start off with a cram session. You gain 4 life and learn.
Woo!
First day of class. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, Put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste until end of turn. Then you learn. Star Pupil. It enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, its controller, or put its counters on target creature you control. Bayou Groove.
Oh, we love this one.
Yeah, it's amazing. As an additional cast cost a spell, sacrifice a creature or pay 3. And it's 5/4.
Yeah, it's a 1 and a green that you can cast probably turn 3, 2, 3, maybe turn 2, but probably turn 3. Sacrifice a creature or pay the extra 3. And still, if you have the 5 mana, you can just play it. It's not a big deal.
Sack a pest, gain 1 life, and get a
5/4.
5/4 turn 3. Best. Like, beautiful.
Leech Fanatic. As long as it's your turn, Leech Fanatic has lifelink, and it's a 2/2 for 2. Detention Vortex. Enchant non-land permanent. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its ability or its activated abilities can't be activated. And you can pay 3 to destroy the vortex. Only your opponents may activate this ability, and only as a sorcery. So, kind of removal. Return Past Caller. Flying when it enters the battlefield, return target spirit, instant, or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And it's a 4/2 for 6. Environmental Sciences. Search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. You gain 2 life. So, kind of cool learn card there. Oh, a Necro Blossom Snarl. As it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a swamp or a forest from your hand. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped.
One of those reveal lands, pretty good.
Keen Duelist. At the beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal the top card of your library. You each lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by the other player. You each put the card you revealed into your hand. And it's a 2/2 for 2, so that's pretty nice. Blot Out the Sky. Create X 2/1 white and black Inkling creature tokens with flying. If X is 6 or more, destroy all non-creature, non-land permanents. So you just, like, tap it all out at, like, late game and ruin everyone's life.
Get wrecked!
I've done that. You just
Ooh, it's our boy, Thrill of Possibility.
Yep.
Sign in Blood. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Next up is another Japanese card. It's a sorcery.
Agonizing Remorse. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it or a card from their graveyard. Exile that card. You lose 1 life.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya, indeed. And then Silver Quill Silencer. As it enters the battlefield, choose a non-land card name. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with the chosen name, they lose 3 life and you draw a card. It's a 3/2 creature for 2 mana, so that's pretty nice. And then we got our Fractal Inkling token.
Thanks for sticking with us. We are on the home stretch of the collector booster packs. Once we're done with these collector boosters, we are going to go through the theme boosters. I'll explain those a little bit before I start opening them. And, yeah, without further ado, we'll keep going. Also, before we keep going here, I would like to mention our favorite card store here in Aurora, Colorado. That is Dueling Land. We got all of this product over at their store. The guys over there are super friendly, and they always try and keep any of the Magic product that you would like in stock. They do a real great job of getting as much as they can get their hands on. So if you do have any Magic the Gathering needs, they also carry other TCGs, Pokemon, Force of Will, Card Fight, Vanguard.
Flesh of Blood?
Yeah, and now they're starting to do Flesh and Blood. They'll be doing a pre-release for Flesh and Blood. I believe all the spots for that are taken at this point. But they are ramping up for that too. So if you are interested in other TCGs, they'll have your back on that too. And they've got real fair prices, and they're real friendly guys. So check them out. You can also check them on the interwebs, any of your favorite social media sites. That's Dueling Land. So get into this pack here. Here's our Inkling token. It's a 2/1 flyer. And a 4/4 elemental. No evasion. Elemental Masterpiece. This bad boy is 7 mana. Create 2 elemental creature tokens. But if you can't cast it, you're short on mana, you can pay 2 hybrid, discard it, and create a treasure token. So it's got a little flexibility there. Guiding Voice, 1 white, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and learn. Exhilarating Elocution, I really like this one in Silverquill. It's 4 mana, but you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Novice Dissector, 3 and a black for a 3/3, pay 1, sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. So no combat tricks on that one. Prismari Campus enters tapped. You can tap to add red or blue and pay 4 and tap this to scry 1. Igneous Inspiration, 2 and a red. Igneous Inspiration deals 3 damage to any target. Learn. Lorehold Apprentice, red and white for a 2/2 with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, until end of turn, spirit creatures you control gain tap. This creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Fractal Summoning, our lesson here. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it. Prismari Command, 1 blue-red. Instant, choose 2. It deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure token or destroy target artifact. Guardian Augmenter, our commander card here. 2 and a green for a 2/2 with flash. Commander creatures you control get +2/+2. Commanders you control have hexproof. Sedgemoor Witch, 1 and a black for a 3/2 with menace. Ward, pay 3 life. So this is a new mechanic, and I heard that Ward is going to be an evergreen mechanic, so you will most likely be seeing this in future sets. Ward allows you to pay 3 life to counter target spell that is targeting this creature. The opponent does have the option to pay the ward cost to counter your payment of your ward cost, and allow their spell to still target your creature. Most of the ones that I've seen so far, you pay a life. This one's 3 life. There is one that you pay 2 colorless mana as the ward cost. This creature also has Magecraft, so whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token. Oh, what do we have here? It's a white one.
It's a little something called Revitalize.
Oh, it's our favorite. Look, she's got a little potion she's drinking, just like on The Legend of Zelda. It's Revitalize. Instant, you gain 3 life, draw a card. Chaos Warp, 2 and a red. This is a fun card. The owner of target permanent shuffles it into their library, then reveals the top card of their library. If it's a permanent card, they put it onto the battlefield. Spicy.
Sometimes they just cough up the exact same card that you just made them shuffle into their deck.
No, yeah, that actually did happen in a match that I had recently. I can't even lie. You're right. You called me out on that. It happened. Village Rites 1. Yeah, we've seen this. As an additional cost, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. And, ooh, it's the ball game thing. Strixhaven Stadium, 3 mana for an artifact. You tap, add 1 colorless, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, remove a point counter from Strixhaven Stadium. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to an opponent, put a point counter on Strixhaven Stadium. Then, if it has 10 or more point counters on it, remove them all, and that player loses the game. Worth noting on this card, you cannot tap to put a point counter and win the game. You actually have... Yeah, Quidditch. Yeah, it's... I mean, yeah, you know, copyright infringement and whatnot, but, you know, it's the game. It's the thing. They're doing it in the stadium. It's great. You do actually have to attack with a creature and deal combat damage to win the game. That is part of the requirement of the spell. On the alternate win con there. Alright, last 3 packs.
Let's do it! So,
Yeah, it's following.
the ball game.
I mean, he's not wrong though. So.
It's the game.
Yes.
Yeah, it's their stuff. Yeah. Pest Elemental. So, getting right into it with Augury Battle Seer. Battle Seer.
There you
go. Haste, tap, scry 1. Heated Debate. This spell can't be countered. Heated Debate deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Reject. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 3. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. Really bye-bye. Silvercloak Campus. Squirrel Colony. Reach. It gets +2/+2 as long as you control 8 or more lands. Kakarot Wrangler. Mage Craft. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. 3/3. Creative Outburst. Quite the cost there with 2 red, 2 blue, and 3 colorless. Deals 5 damage to any target. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Maybe let's say that this just might kind of be a little out of your reach. You can just pay 2. 2 Prismari, discard, Creative Outburst, Creative Treasure. So, and then Spirit Summoning, this is our Lore Hold, whatever.
Less on.
The 3...
Got it.
The 3/2 red and white spirits without flying, by the way, are Lore Hold. So, Spirit Summoning. Wow, this is quite the artwork. Ingenious Mastery. You must pay 2 blue, then you may pay 2 in blue rather than pay the spell's mana cost. If the 2 blue was paid, you draw 3 cards, and opponent creates 2 treasure tokens, and they scry 2. If the cost wasn't paid, you draw X cards. Huh. That's something else. Commander's Insight. With our commander symbol. Target player draws X cards plus an additional card for each time you've cast a commander from the command zone this game. Dragon's Guard Elite. Mage Craft. Put a +1/+1 counter on him. You can pay 6 and double the Hydra, whatever, this guy, like, double his +1/+1s. So,
Double stuff.
Claim the Firstborn. Gain control of target creature with mana value 3 or less until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn.
What's so funny about that? Oh, I love this card. Sign in Blood. It's a sorcery. Target player draws 2 cards and then loses 2 life.
Infuriate! Target creature gets +3/+2 until end of turn. Dark Ritual. 1 mana. Add 3 black mana.
Acceleration in black.
Wow. That's little more than just something there. Ooh.
Or so.
We'll leave this back right here. Okay. So, we start off with an Infuse with Vitality. Until end of turn, target creature gains Death Touch, and when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. You gain 2 life. Ooh, Square Up.
Square up, bro.
Target creature has base power and toughness 4/4 until end of turn.
That works great with fractals. So if most fractals enter the battlefield as 0/0s and get +1/+1 counters. So you play that, and they get an additional 4/4.
Vortex Runner. As long as you control 8 or more lands, it gains +1/+0 and can't be blocked. It's a 2/3 for 3.
So still relevant late game.
Yeah. Leyline Innovation. Create a fractal and put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of lands you control.
So you're essentially hoping it's going to be a 6/6.
Spectre of the Fens. Flying, target opponent, or you can pay 6. Target opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. It's a 2/3 for 4.
I lost to this card recently.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Plumb the Forbidden.
I love this card.
As an additional cast to cost this spell, you may sacrifice 1 or more creatures. When you do, copy the spell for each creature sacrificed this way. You draw a card and you lose 1 life. That's nice.
Hashtag create thousands of pests. Trigger a bunch of mage craft, and great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reconstruct history. Return up to 1 target artifact card, up to 1 target enchantment card, up to 1 target instant card, up to 1 target sorcery card, and up to 1 target planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. And then you exile Reconstruct history. So that's fun.
You can't reconstruct that, can you?
Probably not. Mercurial Transformation. Until end of turn, target non-land permanents lose all abilities and become your choice of a blue frog creature with base power and toughness 1/1, or a blue octopus creature token with base power toughness 4/4. So this could go both ways.
You can make your 1/1 a 4/4 and make their 4/4 a 1/1.
Or so. Orchid Lore Mage. You can tap it, search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. If it's an instant or sorcery card, put a +1/+1 counter on Auric Lord Mage. It's a 3/3 for 4, so not bad at all. Ruin Grinder. Menace. When it dies, each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. And Mountain Cycling, too. It's a 7/4, too, I just realized that.
So you pay 2, discard this card from your hand, and you search your library for a basic mountain card.
Pretty nice. Accumulation of studies. Exile the top X cards of your library. For each land card exiled this way, create a treasure token. For each blue card exiled this way, draw a card. For each red card exiled this way, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So I don't know what to think about that. It's just like almost cycling.
Yeah, kind of.
Cultivate. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 onto the battlefield. Then put it onto the battlefield tapped, and the other in your hand. Then shuffle. Then a Japanese card. It's an instant. You pay 3 to do something. It's like draw,
I think
probably.
it's Dark Ritual.
Oh.
You pay
You just
1
add.
and you add 3. That's a pretty cool little seance going on. Little meditation action.
Yep.
What?
Strategic planning. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest onto your graveyard. Hall of Oracles. Add 1. You can tap to add 1 colorless. You can tap 1 and this. Add 1 mana of any color. And tap this to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery, and if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. I like that.
Nice.
And then our token.
Alright, so this is our last collector booster. I did want to shout out my guy Pengu Speaker. What's up, Alex? Thanks for the follow. I didn't catch that earlier. You know, we're still fairly new and a little rusty at this streaming thing, but thanks for the follow, my man. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Know you're not playing a whole lot of Magic these days, but, you know, still fun to watch. Look at all the shinies. Fractal creature token on one side, treasure token on the other. Alright. Relic Sloth. 3 red, white for a 4/4 Vigilance Menace. This creature can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Pigment Storm. 3 red, red. It deals 5 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller. So, sorcery with trample.
Oh man.
Soothsayer Adept. 1 and a blue for a 1/3. You can pay 1 and a blue, tap it to draw a card, then discard a card. So it is, in fact, a looter. Reckless Amplimancer. 1 and a green for a 2/2. You can pay 4 and a green, double Reckless Amplimancer's power and toughness until end of turn.
What linear growth? What am I? First year? Hashtag flavor text.
Oh, he knows that one. He's been studying his cards. Hey, speaking of cards he needs to study, this one took him out in a match we had earlier this week. Crushing Disappointment. 3 and a black. Each player loses 2 life. You draw 2 cards. He was at 1 life, and I cast it in response to something he was trying to do.
You know what sucks about that card? Everybody forgets to take their life. Like, they're like, oh yeah, you take 2 life. But no, it says each player.
It does. I didn't forget to take my 2 life.
Oh.
You were at 1, so it doesn't really matter. Show of Confidence. 1 and a white for an instant. When you cast this spell, copy it for each other instant and sorcery spell you've cast this turn. So a little storm action here. You may choose new targets for the copies. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains vigilance until end of turn. Practical Research. 3 blue, red. Draw 4 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard an instant or sorcery card. Reduce to Memory. 1 white, white. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. That's awesome. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Blade Historian. So this is a lore hold. You got 4 hybrid mana there. Attacking creatures you control have double strike. Spawning Kraken. 5 and a blue for a 6/6. Whenever a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent you control deals combat damage to a player, create a 9/9 blue Kraken creature token.
Oh, God.
Lore Mage. We've recently seen that guy. Whirlwind Denial. For each... Yeah, we've seen this one. Each spell and ability, you counter it unless its controller pays 4. Alright, so here we have a red and blue spell, and I do actually know what this is. It is... well, I think I know what it is.
He's searching it up.
I'm searching it up, but I do... It's a really powerful spell. Electrolyze. Instant. Deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Draw a card. Release the Kraken. Oh, it's our favorite Revitalize.
Yay.
Zelda drinking her potion. And Regrowth. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So, we got lots of fun cards in those collector boosters. None better, though, than the old alternate art demonic tutor. Alright, so we've got 5 theme boosters here. 1 for each college. The thing about the theme boosters is they're 35 cards. They're all on theme, so this one's going to have black and green cards in it. And you just add 25 lands, and it's like a starter 60-card starter deck. In here, they did print cards that are specific to the theme boosters, or they typically do. I don't know that they did this this time around. But, yeah, so I'll let one of the boys get in here and pick whichever one they want to open, and we'll see what's inside.
I kind of want to go outside the box here, because I usually go with these two. But I kind of want to go with Quandrix.
That's what I would do.
Alright. Open it from the bottom. They're in the bottom.
Yeah, all the cards are in the bottom.
And why they do that?
I don't know. It's weird. They put them in those giant boxes, and it's like a tiny little pack of cards at the bottom.
Get quit wasting.
Yeah, but it looks cooler on the shelves with a giant box.
It does. It's definitely an attention grabber. Lots of glue they put on these packages, too, for some reason.
Gimme. So, with our Quandrix, who I hope we get a certain card.
Which one would that be?
It's a surprise.
Oh, it's a surprise.
Probably don't have to read all these.
Solve the equation, we saw that. Quandrix Pledge Mage, Mage Craft with +1/+1 counter on him. Hey, look, it's the guy. Quandrix Apprentice, Mage Craft, look at...
What?
Mage Craft.
Mage what?
Mage Craft, it does a bunch of stuff. It says, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal a land card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. Spined Kakarot. I don't know why this is in Quandrix. It's obviously with a...
It's a green card, that's why.
Yeah, I guess. Kakarot Wrangler. Quandrix Campus. Symmetry Sage. Flying Mage Craft. Target creature you control with base power. Target creature you control has base power 2 until end of turn. Quandrix Pledge Mage. Introduction to Annihilation. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller draws a card. If you can hear them, they're side chatting about the demonic tutor that we pulled.
Just read the cards.
Divide by 0. Return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater to its owner's hand. Learn. That's pretty good. Bury in books. This spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets an attacking creature. Put target creature into its owner's library second from the top. Because it's buried in the library. Scattering colony, field trip, nice. Environmental sciences, search for a life, no. Search for a land and gain 2. Bury in books. Kelpie guide, tap, untap another target permanent you control. Tap target permanent, activate only if you control 8 or more lands. 2/2. Quandrake's Cultivator. When it enters the battlefield, you may search the library for a basic land or forest, island, or forest card. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Vortex Runner. As long as you control 8 or more lands, Vortex Runner gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. Zimzone, Quandrake's Prodigy. 1 tap, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. 4 tap, draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. Golden Ratio, draw a card for each different power among creatures you control. Leyline Invocation, create a fractal, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of islands you control. Fractal Summoning, same thing except pay X. Arcane Subtraction.
Subtraction.
Subtraction. Target creature gets -4/-0 until end of turn. Learn. Aether Helix. Return target permanent to its owner's hand. Return target permanent card from graveyard to your hand. Quandrake's Campus again. Biomath. Invocate.
Excavated Wall.
Excavated Wall. Defender. 1 tap, mill a card. Square up.
Square up, bro.
Target creature gets 4 base power and toughness 4/4 until end of turn. Serpent Curve, create a fractal, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is 1 plus the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile in your graveyard. Defensive Denial, does something, new line invocation. Master Symmetrist, reach, charge through. Teaching the Anchronix, if an opponent has more cards in hand than you, draw 2 cards, draw 3 cards. Instead, if an opponent has at least 4 more cards than you, then Gnarled Professor. That's sad. We didn't get the card I wanted.
What was the card you wanted?
Big Play.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one. Alright, which one are you going to look at?
I think I'm going to look at Lore Hold, because I'm
Alright.
interested. So I haven't seen a lot of Lore Hold's actions. Here's my box. Alright. We have Blood Age General. You could tap attacking spirits, get +1/+0 until end of turn. It's a 2/2 for 2. Detention Vortex. Thrilling Discovery. You gain 2 life, then you may discard 2 cards. If you do, draw 3 cards. Ageless Guardian. It's a vanilla 1/4. Lore Hold Apprentice. Illustrious Historian. You can pay 5, exile it from your graveyard, create a tapped 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Pilgrim of the Ages. Make your mark. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When that creature dies this turn, create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Stonebinder's Familiar. Whenever one or more cards this turn are put into exile during your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Stonebinder's Familiar. This ability triggers only once each turn. And it's a 1/1 for 1. Lorehold Excavation. At the beginning of your end step, mill a card. If a land card was milled this way, you gain 1 life. Otherwise, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And you can pay 5 to exile a creature card from your graveyard. Create a tapped 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Excavated Wall. It's Defender. You can tap 1 in this to mill a card. It's a Defender 4/4. Pillow Drop Rescuer. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. It's a 2/2. Ardent Dustspeaker. Whenever it attacks, you may put an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. If you do, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn, and it's a 3/4. Stonerice Spirit. Flying 4, you can pay 4 and exile a card from your graveyard. Target creature gains flying until end of turn, and it's a 1/2 for 2. Stonebound Mentor. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, scry 1. It's a 3/3 for 3. Reconstruct History. Return up to 1 target artifact card up to 1. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Secret Vendevinus.
Rendezvous.
Fuming Effigy.
Effigy.
Yeah. Rip Apart. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, destroy target artifact or enchantment.
I'm going to rip you from him.
Lorehold Campus. Pilgrim of the Ages. Enthusiastic Study. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample, then you learn. Or trample until end of turn, then you learn. Spirit Summoning. Lorehold Apprentice. Tome Shredder. Reconstruct History. The Relic Sloth. Vigilance and Menace for 4/4. Professor of Symbology. When it enters the battlefield, learn. Another Spirit Summoning. Heated Debate. It can't be countered. Deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And Spell Satchel. Lorehold Pledge Mage. First Strike and Magecraft. Twin Scroll Shaman. Reduce to Memory. Exile target non-land permanent. Its controller gets a spirit creature token. Semester's End. And that's all for that pack.
What about that first card?
I'm getting
Alright, well, I'm kind of a Silver Quill kind of a guy, so I think that's where I'm going to go here. Since most of these are commons and uncommons, we've seen a lot of these. Probably just go through it pretty quickly. If I can get this thing open, man. They put so much glue on these things. Denied. No.
Oh, no.
You can tell that these are introductory products because they give you the little tokens. You know, on your turn, beginning, untap, upkeep, draw, main phase, combat, main phase, ending phase. Our favorite lesson, Inkling Summoning, Campus. Umbral Juke, I really like this card. We haven't seen it yet. 2 and a black, choose 1. Target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, or create a 2/1 Inkling with flying. Silver Quill Pledge Mage. Arrogant Poet. Thunderous Orator. Another Inkling Summoning. Owlin Shield Mage, I know we've seen that. Mage Hunter's Onslaught, I really like this, I don't think we've seen it. 2 black, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Whenever a creature blocks this turn, its controller loses 1 life. Shadowwing Laureate. Flying, whenever another creature you control with flying dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Silver Quill Pledge Mage. Inkling Summoning. Star Pupil. Professor's Warning. Plumb the Forbidden. Lots of these great cards we've seen already. Spiteful Squad, I like this one. 2 white-black, Death Touch. It enters with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. When it dies, put its counters on target creature you control. So it's pretty much always going to trade in combat, and then something else gets bigger on the battlefield. Exhilarating Elocution. Dueling Coach. When it enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. 4 and a white. Tap. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Promising Dusk Mage. Closing Statement. 3 white-black. This spell costs 2 less to cast during your end step. Destroy target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Star Pupil. Campus. Exhilarating Elocution. Letter of Acceptance. Defend the Campus. Killian, Ink Duelist. 1 white, 1 black for a 2/2 lifelink menace. Spells you cast that target a creature cost 2 less to cast. Beaming Defiance. Lash of Malice. 1 black, target creature gets +2/-2 until end of turn. Eager First Year. 1 and a white for a 2/2 Magecraft. Eager First Year gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Mage Hunter's Onslaught. Rise of Extus. Expanded Anatomy. Guiding Voice. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Learn. And Sedgemoor Witch. Great. We've already seen her before, too.
Alright, well, since you did Silver Quill, I'm a Witherbloom, so here we go.
Knock out the camera on the way, dude.
You can do it. Put your back into it.
Now we just rip off all this. Look at that. It's beautiful. You can finally see the package. Gimme. Oh yes, looky here. Campus Guide, Hunt for Specimen, Containment Breach, Demagoth, Woe Eater. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature. When you sacrifice him, each opponent discards a card. You draw a card. You gain 2 life. 6/7. 10 to the Pest. Professors of Zoomancy. The actual favorite lesson, Pest Summoning. Mage Hunter.
Them's fighting words.
Hunt for Specimen, Mage Duel, Unwilling Ingredient, Mage Duel, Novice Dissector, an Introduction to Prophecy, Eye Twitch, Tangle Trap, Infuse with Vitality, Necrotink Fuse, Beograph.
Ooh, I haven't seen this. What is this?
Zephyr Boots. Equipped creature has flying. And then when it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card and discard a card. Honor Troll, and it's equipped too. Honor Troll, Vigilance. This is cool. Honor Troll, Vigilance. If you gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. Honor Troll gets +2/+1 as long as you have 25 or more life. Great in Commander because you already have 25 or more life. Moldering Kakarot, Mortality Spear, Leech Fanatic, Devouring Tendrils, Witherbloom Pledge Mage, Springmane Servin, Cram Session, Honor Troll again, Blood Researcher, Devorting Tendrils, Essence Infusion, Mortality Spear, Auric Lore Mage, then Exponential Growth. Target, until end of turn, double target creature's power X times.
Alright, last pack.
I think it's kind of fitting because I always get stuck with Prismari.
Oh yeah, you got stuck with it last night too, didn't you?
Yeah. Then again, I didn't trade out of it, so it might be my fault.
Guess what else you did?
I won.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, actually, I didn't win, but the rest of my teammates did.
Yeah. You really did win. But
You did. You won by picking the right college.
Yeah. Pigment Storm, it deals 5 damage to target creature. Excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. That's pretty cool. Prismari Apprentice, Explosive Welcome. Yep.
Yep.
yes, I'm just going
Frost.
to explode.
Frost Trickster. Expressive Irritation. Spectacle Mage.
So, hey, I want to point something out. This guy's great because it works great with cards like this, where you get a discount if it's mana value 5 or greater. So this deals 5 damage to any target and 3 damage to any other target, and you add 3 colorless, but it's 8 mana to start with, so you get a 1 discount there, and you get 3 more red mana afterwards. So, you know, it's not the end of the world.
That's true. Maelstrom Moose. Soothsayer Adept. Waterfall Aerialist. Prismari Apprentice. Reject. Mentor's Guidance. Teach by Example. Indigenous Inspiration. Expressive Irritation. Iteration. I like irritation better. Start from scratch. It deals 1 damage, or you could choose one. Start from scratch deals 1 damage to any target or destroy target artifact. Prismari Pledge Mage. Elemental Summoning. Pop Quiz. First Day of Class. Introduction to Annihilation. Teach by Example. Rutha Mercule Artist. Artist. You could tap 2 to return it to its owner's hand. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. And it's a 1/4. Pop Quiz. Stormkiln Artist. He's just a mad scientist, pretty much. Sudden Breakthrough. Creative Outburst. Arcway Commons. Elemental Masterpiece. Resculpt. Practical Research. Cogwork Archivist. Dragon's Approach. Mentor's Guidance. Culmination of Studies. Exile the top X cards of your library. For each land card exiled this way, create a treasure token. For each blue card exiled this way, draw a card. For each red card exiled this way, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then a new card.
Awesome. Well, once again, we want to thank our friends over at Dueling Land for always taking care of us, taking care of our magic needs. And, you know, if you have other TCG needs, they'd probably take care of you with that too. Once again, I think this is the Etched. I was taking a closer look at this, and I think it's the Etched Foil. I don't know. It's probably hard to see on camera, but right around the text box, it's all shiny.
Oh, it is.
So, yeah, that's It's the pull. That's the one you want, right? Demonic Tutor. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon for some more pack openings with the